The day was overcast, clouds hanging low like a threat. I stood at the entrance to the wedding venue, staring at the sign, the words printed in bold, crude letters. "Do not let the poor-in-law in." I felt the icy grip of realization slowly clench around my chest, but I did nothing. Not a word, not a flinch. I turned on my heel and walked away, the quiet hum of my footsteps the only sound accompanying me. My wife's family had made their statement loud and clear, and well, I did what I always do. I stayed silent. It was almost too easy to walk away, too easy to know that the moment I turned my back on them, the last piece of me that still cared would vanish like smoke in the wind. I didn't need to be part of their charade anymore. The wedding was supposed to be a celebration of family, of love. But beneath the veneer of festive smiles and exaggerated joy, I had felt the cracks starting to show. There were whispers, too many strange moments to ignore. Her mother's sharp glances, her sister's forced smiles, the subtle ways her family distanced themselves from me when they thought I wasn't watching. At first, I ignored it. I told myself I was being paranoid, reading too much into things. But then came the text messages. Subtle at first, a misplaced word here, an unusual tone there, but something in the silence between us started to speak louder than any words could. And that was when I began to piece it together. I started watching, listening, noticing. A late-night phone call from her mother that seemed too private. A hurried, nervous look from my wife as she hung up the phone. Something about the way she walked when she thought I wasn't looking. I could see it now. Everything they had hidden behind layers of politeness, masked with smiles and dinners. They thought I didn't see the little things, the shifts in behavior, the way her father avoided my gaze like I was something unspeakable. But I saw it all. I didn't confront her, not yet. It wasn't the right time. I wanted proof. I wanted facts that left no room for doubt. I started with the phone. Quietly, without suspicion, without urgency. A simple password that had always been easy to guess. A few taps, a few swipes. A few messages opened that told me more than I ever wanted to know. I saw the names in her messages, the ones that shouldn't have been there. Late-night texts to someone I didn't know, someone who wasn't me. The hotel reservations, the dinner plans, the whispers about our future, the phrases that should never be said to anyone but the person you vowed to be with. I didn't feel anger, not yet, just a strange sense of coldness, like I had stepped into a room too dark to make sense of. I couldn't feel anything for a while, just numbness as I pieced it together. It was like watching a slow-motion train wreck, everything breaking down around me, but there was no sound, no shock, just inevitability. The test results came a few days later. I had sent in the DNA test under a false name. The clinic was discreet, a professional job. The results came back that morning, and my mind was clear, my stomach still. It was the confirmation I had known all along. I walked into the kitchen where she was making breakfast, her smile as innocent as ever. The sun was streaming through the window, illuminating the mundane scene, but inside me, it was dark, empty. I slid the envelope across the table toward her. She looked at it curiously, but I didn't say a word. The silence in the room stretched, thick and heavy. She picked it up with hesitant hands, tearing it open, and I watched the light die from her face as she read the results. Her breath caught. She looked up at me, but I didn't look back. I didn't need to. The truth was already staring at her, and she knew it. Her eyes filled with disbelief, but that was nothing. That was just a reflection of her guilt, of the life she had so carefully constructed without me. She had never thought I would find out, but I always do. I had known about the affair for months, her lover, her lies, her betrayal, but she never saw the way I watched her, the way I kept my calm even as she tore at the fabric of our lives. I stood up, the chair scraping softly against the floor. She was shaking now, the realization sinking in. "I'm leaving," I said, my voice calm, almost too calm. She opened her mouth to speak, but I raised a hand, silencing her before a single word escaped. "It's already done." She took a step toward me, but I was already at the door. No violence, no shouting, just silence. The truth was a weapon more powerful than anything she could say. I turned and left. The house was quiet when I got home. The wedding had ended. I had already won. I didn't feel vindicated, not really, just clear, cold, calculated clarity. She had made her choice, and now I was making mine. The door clicked shut behind me, and I let out a slow breath. This was the last time. No more games, no more lies. I was done.